Hi, we are the drama class at Foothills Christian High School.
January 13th through 15th, we are performing Sherlock Holmes by Tim Kelly.
We are raising money for our new headset wireless mics.
Each student is looking for 10 people to donate $20.
Our goal is to raise collectively $2,500.
We need your help so we can get these mics, so we can put on a great show for you come January.
Become a donor with a gift of $20 and receive a free ticket to our Sherlock Holmes show.
Go Drama!
Glad that you guys have come out to enjoy our show tonight, and you guys are in for a treat. I get to go on stage. I'm Janelle Wilson, and I've had the privilege of getting to direct this show, and we are in for a good time. So we're going to have Dr. Watson come out and pray for us, and then we're going to get started.
Good evening, all. Remove your hats and pray with me, please. Father God, I thank you for bringing each and every person into this audience tonight, Lord. I thank you for each and every actor backstage, God. I pray that you would be with them and that we could glorify you tonight, Lord. I pray that you would touch each and every heart that is in the audience tonight, and if we could be any part of that, please let it be. In your name, amen.
And now, the game's afoot.
Get your paper here, read all about it. Another murder in Whitechapel. Police suspect Jack the Ripper.
Another member of the criminal element found floating in the Thames. Police suspect gang war, read all about it.
Royal wedding for Prince of Bohemia.
Hey lad, let's have a paper over here.
Yes sir, right away governor.
Police suspect evil genius at work. Valuable jewels stolen from the Tower of London, read all about it.
London plagued by robberies, kidnapping, and tainted kippas. Read all about it.
Evening news. Who stole the jewels from the Tower of London? Read all about the baffling mystery.
London plagued by outbreak of crime and violence. Read all about it. Another murder in Whitechapel. London. Yeah.
The paper, ma'am.
You may read the paper below stairs when I am done with it, not before.
Oh, but I'm sure there's something here that will interest you.
Let me see that. Murder in Whitechapel, gang war, jewels stolen from the Tower of London.
The article about the royal wedding, second column.
Royal wedding for Prince of Bohemia. Undoubtedly, you've heard my husband and I discuss certain private matters in regard to the prince.
I know my place.
Do you? You'd better give up any idea of blackmail, otherwise I shall inform Scotland Yard that I have a wanted forger in my employ.
Please, Mrs. Larrabee, I told you that in the strictest of confidence.
It was because of your criminal past that I hired you. I need someone who can keep his mouth shut.
Blackmail. Nothing was further from my mind, I assure you.
I trust so, for your sake.
The parlor maid wishes to give notice.
I pay her well.
It seems certain things in this house distress poor Teresa.
I'll speak to the girl.
Yes, ma'am.
His Royal Highness Prince Karl van Staalberg will wed Her Royal Highness Princess Alexandria Romanov of Russia.
Found Sid. He'll be along in a moment.
Read this. Second column.
So he's gonna marry a Romanov, is he?
It's good for us. The better the title, the higher the stakes.
Not unless we get those letters.
We'll get them, never you worry.
Holmes said you wanted to see me, Miss Larrabee.
What's this nonsense of you wanting to give notice?
I don't quite like the way you treat your friend.
You misunderstand, Teresa. She is ill, not right in the head.
If we're harsh with her, it's only because we're thinking of her own good.
You mean she's demented?
Quite.
That does make a difference.
Run along now and let's hear no more talk of you giving notice.
Yes, ma'am.
She's a silly thing. Might be wise to let her go.
Never. We must keep up appearances.
Sid Prince here.
In the drawing room, Sid.
Sorry. It was locked and I couldn't resist a little picking. Anyways, what's the game?
There's Miss Alice Faulkner staying with us.
A guest, you might say.
When she came to us, she became our friend. And she became our friend.
Good. So the letters.
Her sister died in despair over the prince, but he wrote many love letters.
And he wants them letters back, eh?
We're dealing with an insurance company now. They're acting as go-between for the prince.
And you're telling me then, these letters in here?
When Alice first came to us, she trusted us. And when she started having doubts, she ordered the lock on the safe changed, and we couldn't frighten her starver into opening the thing.
Oh, never mind you. Sid Prince and his magic fingers will have it open in a jiffy. In fact, I could do this blindfolded, with me hands tied behind my back, underwater.
Never mind congratulating yourself, just do the job.
Uh-huh. You know, it's a very special safe. In fact, I've got a tool for it. Voila!
Empty!
Empty, blimey! Not even a speck of dust. Looks like she's fooled you again.
She'll pay for this, get her.
I'll twist the truth at her!
Right, now, look, man, I ain't in this for none of that rough stuff, right?
You think I've come this close to let a fortune slip away?
Sounds to me like the girl's too clever for you.
She'll talk.
Pardon me, Mrs. Larrabee.
Yes?
I've encountered a gentleman in the garden. He's come round to the front.
What gentleman?
His card.
Who's the bloke?
Don't know the gentleman.
me see.
Sherlock Holmes?
Oh, blimey, all right. Okay, I'm getting out of here.
What's the matter?
Don't you know who he is?
Probably a representative of the insurance people.
Nah. He's a private investigator, he is. He's a devil. He put me behind bars 2 years ago. I don't want to see him. It's him!
Keep calm. We have nothing to worry about.
All right!
Shall I admit the gentleman?
Yeah, of course. Find out what he wants. I'll be upstairs.
Won't you come into the drawing room, sir?
Thank you.
Won't you sit down, sir?
Thank you.
Now, whom did you wish to see?
Take my card to Miss Alice Faulkner, please.
Alice Faulkner does not see anyone. She's in critical condition, incredibly ill.
I prefer to hear that from Miss Faulkner herself.
As you wish, Mr. Holmes.
Fresh fingerprints, not more than a few moments cold. Particles of coal dust clinging to the dial.
Good heavens, who are you?
No need for alarm. My name is Holmes, Sherlock Holmes.
Not the Sherlock Holmes, the famous young detective?
Actually, I'm a consulting detective. I assist the police with their more difficult cases. Who's been at this safe?
How should I know, Mr. Holmes?
There's only one man in London who rooms in a hotel favored by Coleman, who is also a master at safecracking. Sid Prince.
Sid Prince. Never heard of him.
Nevertheless, I suspect he's about. Fetch him, please.
I'll try, sir.
Try the front. He's probably watching the house.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Holmes?
You are Miss Alice Faulkner?
I'm in poor health, Mr. Holmes. Please be brief.
You are Miss Faulkner?
I'm in poor health, Mr. Holmes. Please be brief.
Miss Faulkner, you've been dealing with a reputable insurance firm regarding certain letters?
That's my business, Mr. Holmes.
Incorrect. It is my business. The insurance firm has engaged my services.
You wish me to set a price?
I wish to speak with Miss Alice Faulkner.
And so you are.
Do not test my patience, Madge Larrabee. I know you and your husband are keeping Miss Faulkner a prisoner in this house, and unless you produce her at once, I shall inform the police. I happen to know the authorities in France are most anxious to learn of your whereabouts.
James, bring her in here. Hurry. You're a clever man, Sherlock Holmes.
Clever. I am not clever, Madge. I am brilliant. And the sooner the criminal class realizes this, the sooner London will sleep in peace.
Go! Over there with her.
Who's he?
Sherlock Holmes, a detective. He's working with the insurance people.
Don't reach for your pistol, Larrabee. It would be a foolish gesture.
Pistol? How dare you? I was reaching for my pipe.
You've been mistreating this poor girl. There are marks on her wrist.
I wouldn't tell him anything if I was you, Alice. All he wants is your precious letters.
Do you wish to lodge a complaint against these people?
I will handle this matter in my own way.
Miss Faulkner, I implore you. If you release the contents of your letters, there's no telling what damage you'll cause.
Damage? What do I care for damage? I'm only interested in one thing: money.
The insurance people will pay you a fair price.
I'm not interested in a fair price. You may tell your employers these letters will cost them thousands and thousands of pounds.
May I see the letters?
You'll have to find them first.
Quick! There's a fire upstairs! Smoke is coming out of the kitchen window!
Fire? Where the devil's moment?
Don't let it spread.
Why don't you help them?
Because I have the matter under control. When a woman thinks her house is on fire, her first instinct is to rush to the thing which she values most. A married woman grabs at her baby, an unmarried one, jewelry, or, in this case, letters.
I'm undone.
My only wish is to help you. You are in the clutches of two villainous criminals.
You're clever.
Brilliant.
You have the letters. You've won.
I have the letters, true, but I have not won.
Only a grease fire. Foreman started it. Tipped over a pot of lard.
I cannot take these letters, Miss Faulkner, unless you turn them over voluntarily.
Why not?
That would be stealing.
You cannot have the letters.
In that case,
You're mad.
I'm not happy with Miss Faulkner's decision, if that's what you mean. I would advise you to leave this house at once.
I'm not afraid of them any longer, Mr. Holmes. If they attempt to seize these letters, I shall destroy them. Rip them into shreds, eat them, burn them, but destroy them I shall. There is no profit in ashes.
You're a remarkable young woman, Miss Faulkner.
I shall go to my room. Stand aside.
I trust you will not take this matter lightly. If any harm should come to Miss Faulkner, I shall hold the two of you personally responsible. Be warned. No need to show me to the door. I'll find my own way out.
Just when everything was going so well.
What are we gonna do?
Over here.
Not with that Sherlock Holmes onto us.
What about the letters?
Holmes didn't get them.
We ought to go upstairs and take the letters by force.
What good would that do with Holmes on the scent? Besides, you heard her. She'll destroy them and not a penny for our troubles.
Holmes is on your case. There's one man you gotta see.
Who?
It's not coming to me, Professor Marinara, Professor Moriarty.
Moriarty?
Moriarty. He's a Napoleon of crime, he is. With a right hatred for Sherlock Holmes. Tell you what, he'll stop that snooper in his tracks and he'll get you them letters back.
Sounds good.
And what are we waiting for?
Where to?
Where else? To the professors! Come on.
Alrighty then.
That's what we did!
themselves in the public street.
Police you're talking to now, so move along, move along.
Vote for women! Vote for women! Give women rights! You want to vote? I can see it in your eyes! Votes for women! Give us the vote!
Well, now quiet as a summer's night.
I trust so, officer. It isn't safe to walk around in London anymore.
Well, you have nothing to worry, sir.
Thank you, officer.
We're here to protect honest citizens.
What's wrong?
My necklace! Someone stole my necklace!
Who could have... My wallet's gone!
Oh no, it must have been those suffragettes. I'll go this way. You go around the corner.
I understand our contact in the Tottenham area has been holding out on us again.
His collections from the Protective Society have fallen off by 2%.
I suspect 2% has ended up in our contact's pocket. I think we can dispense with his future services. Arrange for his body to be found in a mail sack somewhere in the north of Scotland.
Yes, Professor.
What about the informant who's working with Scotland Yard on the jewel heist?
Disposed of in the usual manner. There'll be no trace.
As usual.
One of the dock workers in your employ was overheard mentioning that he was a close friend of a Professor Moriarty.
Professor Moriarty has no friend. Professor Moriarty is the friend of no one. Have him attended to.
Yes, sir.
See that his disappearance is noticed. Have it spoken of. Have the workers on the dock wonder whatever became of their maid. What they conjure in their imagination will be far worse than the truth.
You're a master of psychology, Professor.
Anything else?
3 of your men come up for trial on Thursday next.
Ah, yes. Thanks to young Sherlock Holmes.
He'll be the Crown's star witness.
Holmes has interfered with my plans once too often. I do not wish him to testify.
Will you deal with him in the usual way?
You surprise me, my dear Joan. Holmes is not a usual human being. Therefore, he cannot be dealt with in the usual manner. Commence. It's Mrs. Bassick. Admit her.
Yes, Professor.
Report.
A respectable haul from various suffragette meetings held throughout the city.
Clarify respectable. Not as good as our haul from the Tower of London.
Ah, Professor, a Tower of London job comes once in a lifetime.
Perhaps next time I can arrange to steal the tower. Anyone out there?
Sid Prince.
Who?
Sid Prince is safecracker. You used him to open the vault of the stock exchange.
I recall.
Any assignment for this evening, Professor?
I'll get word to you. It may be that I shall require your special talents.
Oh?
It all depends on how a certain conversation with the private investigator concludes. No trouble with the police.
My suffragettes are well trained, Professor. Whenever it looks as if the jig is up, we stage a minor riot. And when it is over, the onlookers have been relieved of their wallets, baubles, and beads.
If I had used you for previous assignments, 3 of my best men wouldn't be standing on the docks with Sherlock Holmes breathing down their necks.
Yes, well, if women receive the vote, it will be the end of our masquerade.
I do not intend to see so valuable a gang as our suffragettes lose their cover. To this end, I'm working diligently to see that women do not receive the vote.
I understand.
Joan, admit Sid. You'll get your cut in the usual manner, Mrs. Bassick.
Always a pleasure talking with you, Professor.
Hello, Professor. Remember me?
You left traces of coal dust on the vault at the stock exchange.
I did.
What do you want?
Well, I found something that might interest you.
Commence.
Well, it seems this couple...
Names.
James and Madge Larrabee.
The Larrabees. They're wanted by the French police.
Blimey, Professor, is there anything you don't know?
I don't know what you've come across that might interest me.
Oh, right. Well, it seems the Larrabees have a lettuce that could put the Prince of Bohemia in a real awkward fashion.
The Prince of Bohemia? Where are the Larrabees now?
Ah, wait.
You brought them here? Here to my secret underground office?
I vouch for the Larrabees.
I hope you're right, Sir Prince. Otherwise, the Thames River will have you for an overnight guest. Joan, admit the Larrabees.
Yes, Professor.
Oh, come on, Professor. It's Sid Prince. Sid Prince wouldn't do anything to harm you. You can trust old Sid Prince.
Trust. I trust no one. That is why I will never be defeated. What is this business you have with the Prince of Bohemia?
I don't know as we want to tell you. After all, this is our game and not yours.
Is it?
I don't think I even want to be here.
Silence.
Here now? I don't like to be talked to like that.
Obviously, you do not know to whom you are speaking.
Now, Jimmy boy, I'm telling you, you don't want to anger the professor.
I'm not afraid of him.
You better be, James Larrabee. Otherwise, you won't live to see another day. I have my methods.
Careful.
Sit down.
Now, I was just telling our good friend for the professor about the letters the Prince of Bohemia wrote.
Can you help us?
Who is the woman in this case?
Alice Faulkner, stubborn. Her sister died in despair over the prince.
But not before he wrote many love letters.
We're dealing with the insurance people now.
Everything was going just fine, then all of a sudden, like they called in Sherlock bloody Holmes.
That name again! Where are the letters now?
Alice has them on her person. She threatens to destroy them if we make a move.
You know the contents of each letter.
Of course.
You can make forgeries.
We have in our employ an extremely clever forger.
Foreman by name?
Holmes. Has he seen the letters?
He only saw the small packet he returned to Alice. He didn't have time to open the envelopes.
Ah, yes. Tie up the forgeries so that they look exactly like the packet Holmes held in his hand.
Why, Professor?
I have my methods. I shall want that counterfeit package at 11 tonight.
It'll be ready.
Wait a minute. You haven't even talked about business arrangements.
You'll have an opportunity tonight to sell the counterfeit package to Holmes for a good round sum. You shall take 100% and I nothing.
Nothing?
Nothing?
Nothing.
Nothing except a packet of real letters.
Oh, calm yourself, Jimmy boy.
You were, I believe, Mr. Larrabee, acquainted with one Alf Waxman, a well-known blackmailer.
Yeah, I know all Alf, sure.
And we all do.
Yeah. Seen him around lately?
As a matter of fact, now that you think about it, no, I haven't.
And you won't be seeing him around lately. That is, he displeased me.
He won't cross you, Professor.
I trust not. I'd hate to see you in widow's weeds.
You can trust us, Professor. We'll get what we can from Holmes.
Thank you for coming. Your interview is over. Joan, I bid you good morning.
Now, Professor, I was wondering if you might have an old job for old Sid Prince, huh?
The interview is over.
Yes, sir. Lovely weather we're having this morning, isn't it?
The Prince of Bohemia. Splendid. Excellent. Capital. Professor Moriarty here. Please bring my cab around front. I travel to Baker Street.
To Sherlock Holmes?
Baker Street is his residence, I believe.
You'll go there yourself?
I will go there myself. I will offer him peace or death. Either way, Moriarty wins.
You're a marvel, Professor. A human marvel.
Invigorate.
Buy a flower, only a penny. Who wants one?
Good for the circulation.
You speaking to me, sir?
What? Who? Oh, no, madame. Merely commenting on the healthful benefits of the London fog. Why, it's most underrated. For some maladies, it can be quite beneficial.
Bless me, sir. You sound like an educated man.
Why, I am a doctor. Watson by name.
Not the famous Dr. Watson who writes about Mr. Sherlock Holmes.
The same.
I'm a great fan of yours, Dr. Watson.
Oh, you don't say.
Of course, I can't read myself, but I have a friend who can pronounce all the words.
Good to hear it.
You and Mr. Holmes do have some weird adventures. I couldn't get over the case of the speckled band.
Like that, did you?
Positively creepy. Scared me more than the case of the Sussex vampire.
Always happy to meet a loyal reader.
No charge for you, Mr. Watson. It's a pleasure.
Thank you. That is most kind of you.
Matches, matches, get your matches!
Bless me, Baker Street is becoming a gypsy bazaar.
Would you like some matches, sir? I've got all kinds. I have some from India and even Sweden. A person can never have enough matches.
What rubbish! You make them sound like the stuff of life. A person can never have enough matches. Here you go. That should keep you quiet.
Thank you, Governor.
Foolish child. Person can never have enough matches.
Matches, get your matches!
Look sharp.
I've watched the house all day. I've seen everyone coming in and everyone coming out.
Good. The professor is counting on us. Now, cover all the alleyways into Baker Street. He may require our assistance.
I'll distract the policeman at the corner.
Don't draw any undue attention. Be ready when and if needed.
Buy a flower, only a penny.
Matches, get your matches!
Buy a flower, only a penny. Who wants one?
Matches, get your matches!
Must you yell, old fellow? I'm trying to concentrate on my music.
Do put it down, Holmes. I could hear it screeching from halfway up the block.
You should develop an ear for music.
I have an ear for music. It's your violin playing that makes me wish I were deaf.
Surely my playing hasn't put you in this agitated state.
It definitely has. No, it's the neighborhood.
Baker Street is a perfectly respectable neighborhood. Almost too respectable for my tastes.
Too respectable?
I know, my dear Watson, that you share my love of all that is bizarre and outside the conventions and humdrum of everyday life. Baker Street hardly qualifies. It's comfortable, but routine.
You wouldn't think that if you had run the gauntlet that I just did. Match sellers, ribbon hawkers, suffragettes, pushcart peddlers. Why, it was busier than the fish market at dawn.
Baker Street is not the best area for commerce. Therefore, I suspect the match sellers, ribbon hawkers, suffragettes, and pushcart peddlers are not as they seem.
Talking riddles again.
I see you visited Lally's bookstore within an hour and were unable to secure your weekly copy of London Review.
How the devil did you deduce that?
These traces of red clay on your shoe. The workmen are excavating in front of Lally's, and that particular shade of clay can only be found in that one locale.
Why? That's
also,
amazing.
The clay has not had time to dry.
Wonderful deduction.
Since London Review is the only reason you visit Lally's bookstore, and it's a large, hardbound periodical that doesn't fit into your medical bag, I can only surmise that they were sold out.
You astonish me, Holmes.
Elementary, my dear Watson. See anyone interesting on the streets today?
Ah, yes, that flower woman. Pleasant sort, an admirer of your exploits and my literary talent. Say, I could really use some tea right now.
Yes. Miss Hudson.
Delicious. Ah, yes, Mrs. Hudson, famous for tea.
There's a gentleman, sir.
That would be Inspector Lestrade of Scotland Yard. He is not alone.
How'd you know that?
It's of no importance. Please show the lady and the gentleman in.
Right away, sir. I do hate to mention it, but our neighbors have been complaining about your target practicing.
Indeed.
I do wish you wouldn't do that. It could ruin the wallpaper.
Quite right, Mrs. Hudson. Quite right. Lestrade and some woman.
Lestrade is merely acting as a police escort. The gentleman in question is none other than the Prince of Bohemia, and the woman is Lady Edwina Hunter, a distant relative.
Well, how can you be sure that it's them?
I looked out my bedroom window as they were getting out of their carriage. Pray come in. Delighted to see you again, Lady Edwina. My colleague, Dr. John Watson.
Dr. Watson.
Delighted.
Please have a seat.
We've come directly from insurance company. They tell us you have taken complete charge.
Correct?
What progress have you made, Mr. Holmes?
Minimal.
Considering your reputation, detectives, that is hardly encouraging. You disappoint me.
Say, didn't you have some sort of police escort with you?
Oh.
Could have sworn
Did
I
we?
saw you earlier.
There he is. Right, so. You have any questions, Mr. Holmes?
I can't vary my charges even if you wanted me to. They're on a fixed scale. I do not vary them unless I remit them altogether.
They're desperate.
Your Highness, did you love the sister of Alice Faulkner?
That's all in the past. The future is all that matters.
I see no reason not to answer. Yes. I did. I loved her deeply.
Nonsense. You're too young to know your own mind. Infatuation. Nothing more.
Did she know of your feelings?
Yes.
You say you would have married her, that she knew of your true affections. Hardly the motives for self-destruction.
I've never been able to understand why she did such a thing.
Curious. She had everything to live for.
What matters now are those letters. In the wrong hands, they could be lethal.
I assure you, Lady Edwina, Holmes knows what he's about.
You'll forgive me if I do not share in your enthusiasm. The stakes are too high for anything but positive results. We have to return to insurance company and file complaint. I trust we may expect more than minimal progress in near future, Mr. Holmes.
You must forgive my aunt, Mr. Holmes. She has been under a terrible strain, and I've not been able to bring myself to reprimand her.
I understand.
I'll be down in a moment, Your Highness. I want to word with Mr. Holmes. That Lady Edwina's a cold one.
Her motives are clear. She wants only to protect the family honor.
Yeah, well, being their bodyguard isn't my ideal police word.
I'd consider it an honor.
Have them to worry about in the heist for the Tower of London. I was hoping I might be able to get your help on that, Mr. Holmes.
An audacious crime, robbery at the Tower of London.
That sounds like an excellent title. Sherlock Holmes and the robbery at the Tower of London.
That might be a good story for your pen, Dr. Watson, but it's my job.
I assure you, once this affair with the Prince of Bohemia is concluded, the Tower will have my full attention.
You're obliged, Mr. Holmes. You can count on Lestrade.
Count on Lestrade. Man's a dolt. I doubt if he could find himself in the lost and found department.
The Prince of Bohemia is a rather unique client.
You consider them prince a mere client. Have you no compassion?
A client to me is a mere unit, a factor in a problem. The emotional qualities are antagonistic to clear reasoning.
You sound like a calculating machine.
The plot thickens.
Smells of Mrs. Hudson's kidney pie.
Hardly. It's jasmine.
Perfume?
Essence of jasmine. Won't you come in, Miss Faulkner?
Why, bless me!
No need to hide in the shadows. I'm sure Lestrade didn't see you.
How did you know it was me?
There are 75 perfumes, which it is very necessary that a criminal expert to be able to distinguish from each other. At the Larrabees, you radiated the scent of jasmine.
Remarkable deduction.
Elementary.
Holmes, where are your manners? Please, be seated. I'm Dr. John Watson.
Thank you. I wish to speak with you. Alone.
Well, if you want to be alone.
No need, old fellow. I would like your opinion on this matter. You may speak openly in front of Watson.
As you wish. I've come to correct a false impression.
Indeed.
I told you my prime motive was a desire for money, but I don't want money.
You seek justice for your sister?
Justice? There is no justice. I seek punishment and revenge.
Revenge is not only therapeutic, it can also be sweet.
I seek nothing for myself.
Why? Why do you seek revenge on a man like Prince Carl? He struck me as a fine young gentleman.
Watson, please.
Sorry.
No. I want the world to know of his disgrace and his cruelty.
Cruelty? Nah. Fine gentleman he is.
Watson, please, for the second time.
Okay, I'm sorry.
This is all you wanted to tell me?
Why didn't you take the letters when you had the opportunity?
Because I am a detective second, and a gentleman first.
I see. I'll take no more of your time.
Oh, no, please. You don't have to leave. I can have Mrs. Hudson serve tea and possibly some kidney pie. She's famous for her cucumber sandwiches.
No, thank you, Dr. Watson. I've already imposed.
You're still at the Larrabees?
I've made arrangements to move into a hotel. It's modest, but fashionable.
Wise.
Good day, Sherlock Holmes.
Miss Faulkner.
Lovely woman she is.
My methods seldom fail. She's taken the bait.
Bait?
She'll never turn those letters over to me unless I have her complete trust. I am winning that trust.
She was charming, though. Disturbed, but charming nonetheless.
I assure you, the most winning woman I ever knew was hanged for poisoning 3 little children for their insurance money.
You don't like Miss Faulkner?
To like a woman is the first step to loving a woman. Love is an emotional thing.
Well, I would hope so.
Whatever is emotional is opposed to that true, cold reasoning, which I place above all things. Careful. Easy, Watson. It's the Larrabee's maid.
See you.
What are you doing sneaking into the house that way?
Foreman said that no one was to see me come in through the front door.
Foreman?
My man at the Larrabee's, undercover agent.
Oh, I'm so nervous. What if the police saw me? They would think I was a criminal.
Compose yourself. Sit down. Deliver the message.
Foreman says they got him making a bundle of forgeries.
They? You mean the Larrabees?
Yes, they're making copies of Miss Faulkner's letters.
I take it you understand from Foreman the seriousness of this business.
He has enlisted my aid. I am your ally, Mr. Holmes.
Good show.
Oh, poor Miss Faulkner. They told me she was demented. That's it. I'm quitting at once.
No, you mustn't do that.
No.
I wish Miss Faulkner to know that I propose to buy the false letters. Tell her you overheard the Larrabees discussing the matter with Foreman.
If you say so.
But do not tell her that I know the letters are counterfeit.
But why?
If you should work with me in the future, I shall demand complete fidelity to my orders.
In other words, my dear, Holmes doesn't want you to ask any questions.
You do wish to help Miss Faulkner.
Oh, yes.
Foreman was right. You mustn't be seen. I suspect the house is being watched.
Watched?
Careful on your way out.
Okay. Oh, I do find detective work exciting, Mr. Holmes.
I was afraid of that. Off you go.
Yes, sir.
Man, that gun, I didn't even know it could fire on me.
It was quite irregular behavior of you.
Indeed it was. You see, I got this gun back in the war. Whoa. They taught me not to do that, but here I am doing that. Oh. Why, it sounds like Mrs. Hudson is coming up the stairs.
The game's afoot.
What? What game are you talking about?
Lots of people coming in and out of here, I suppose. I could read your mind.
Yes, so many people coming in and out. Why are you not telling me any of these things?
Mrs. Hudson.
A match girl just brought news from my sister, the one with headaches.
The match girl?
No, my sister.
May I be of any help?
No, it's her nerves more than anything. No telling when I'll be back.
Watson and I can manage.
There's cold liver in the cold ice chest if you're hungry.
We'll be quite all right, Miss Hudson.
Cold liver? I could have sworn it was kidney pie.
I'm expecting a visitor any minute. He will not enter the building until he's quite certain I am alone. Go after Miss Hudson, pretend to escort her to the tram, then double back to the street. Do not enter this house unless you hear me cry out or a gunshot disturbs the calm.
But, Holmes...
No time to argue. Do as I ask. Hurry.
What's with all this mystery? People popping in and out. You're never telling me a thing.
Won't you come in, Professor? I find the violin relaxes me. Hand me my violin, and I can forget for half an hour miserable weather and the still more miserable ways of our fellowmen.
I find the same solace in higher mathematics. Are you saving it for a client?
Do make yourself comfortable.
You are not surprised to see me?
Hardly. Your suffragettes have been gathering in the byways of Baker Street for the past hour.
You know about them, I see. But I would expect no less from the great Sherlock Holmes.
You flatter me.
I've never underestimated you, Holmes. We are both a couple of connoisseurs. You and I have been fencing for years. Our ponds grow smaller and smaller. We grow together like a couple of greedy old pike. Either I finish you, or you finish me, or we choke on each other. Either way, one of us must go.
I take it you have a proposal.
Join with me, Holmes, in an alliance.
An unholy alliance?
I may yet tempt you.
Jewels from the Tower of London? Loot from stock manipulations? Robberies? You disappoint me, Professor.
You and I both know what is most desired. Power! Soon I will have the power to create the greatest crime of all time, World War. Nations will grovel beneath my feet. Millions will be made. Millions with which to buy more power. Presidents, emperors will be humbled. What a glorious spectacle, Holmes. The world in flames.
I will never let this happen.
If you do not agree to join with me, at least give me your assurance that you will never once again hinder my plans.
And if I give no such assurance?
Destruction.
If I were assured of your destruction, I would, in the interests of the public, cheerfully accept my own.
I shall miss you, Holmes.
I fear I shall deprive you of that pleasure. Lestrade and his men are already in the street, rounding up as many of your gang as they can catch.
He'll come here next.
No, I don't know how you plan to put your grand illusion into effect, but you must be free to move about so that I can hound you and discover your plot.
You've seen fit not only to reject my proposal, but to do so with irritating smugness. I cannot allow this to pass. You make insulting references. You win the first round, but the second round will fall to me. I have my methods. You have been warned.
The game's afoot, Moriarty. I will not sleep until I have you behind bars and your plans are ruined. You have been warned.
Read all about it. Another body found in the Plumstead Marshes. Scotland Yard baffled.
Suffragettes found rioting outside the British Museum.
Weddings of the Prince of Bohemia and Russian royalty grow near. Sorry, the font's really small, you guys.
Extra, extra, read all about it.
Another body found in the Plumstead Marshes. Public is asking, why doesn't Sherlock Holmes do something?
Crime wave still carries on in London.
Read all about it. Royal wedding of the Prince of Bohemia. Read all about it.
Queen Victoria switches her brand of tea. Read all about it. Read all about it.
Blimey, why didn't Mrs. Bassett get here already? Never you mind Mrs. Bassett. She knows what she's about. I hope she didn't get caught up with the bobbies at the British Museum. Lordy, what a time that was.
All them fancy ladies and gentlemen watching our suffragette riot, never once realizing they was getting their fancy jewels lifted.
Mrs. Bassett says we may have robbed half the insurance firms in London.
Half? All.
Oh, she's here.
Both here? Good.
You look all done in.
It's the professor. He's in a strange way.
How so?
Very preoccupied, my dear. Very preoccupied.
What's the game tonight?
Can't say for sure, but if we're using this warehouse again, so close to the Plumstead Marshes, my guess is we play the game of murder.
If the professor doesn't stop dropping bodies in the water, it's gonna clog up the sewers.
Somebody's coming.
Hey, Professor Moriarty. Are you in here?
No one in here but us suffragette mice, Mr. Prince.
Oh, blimey, Miss Bassick. Scared me after death, you did.
Sit down.
No, yes, ma'am.
Weren't seen, were you?
Nah. Mind if I light up my pipe?
No!
Why not?
You might drop a match on the floor.
What of it?
What about gas lines? They're old.
They leak.
And?
Dangerous stuff.
Deadly.
You might say we're in a gas chamber, so no matches.
Amen to that.
Who's that?
Should be Gas House Gertie.
It's that one, all right.
Greetings, one and all.
Did you bring it?
Of course I did. One of my finest, too.
Let's see it.
What is that wicked-looking thing?
It's a time bomb, dear. Ain't it lovely?
Ain't that just the sort of thing I'd want to find on my Christmas stocking?
What's the professor gonna do with that?
Who's it for?
All in good time.
Was you there all the time, Professor?
I shall be brief.
It's me finest piece of work, Professor.
It had better be Gashouse Goody, or
Or
this trap door beneath my shoe drops to the slimy marsh.
you can trust me, Professor. I stand by my product.
Trust? That is no word to use, Professor Moriarty. Timing.
5-minute leeway, once it's set.
Who's that?
According to my schedule, it's to be Mr. James Larrabee.
Had a devil of a time finding the place.
Leave us. Stand ready for when you're needed.
This way.
You sent the letter to Holmes as ordered.
I did. Tell him to meet me here at midnight. Will he come?
Holmes has to deliver the letters to his client or suffer irreparable damage to his reputation. Holmes has one fault that will trip him.
What was that?
Vanity. Once you have your money, give 3 short whistles.
I don't know if I can do that. I can manage 1, but 3 takes talent.
Use this.
Why, thank you, Professor.
Not now, cretin, when you're finished with Holmes.
Beg pardon.
Mrs. Bassick will know what to do. Sid!
Yes, Professor?
Stand guard at the alley and be ready for when Holmes nears. Signal with a bird call.
A bird call?
Cuckoo, cuckoo.
Cuckoo, cuckoo. All right, I got it, Professor. I'm your man.
Good luck, Larrabee.
What if Holmes tries something? What if he brings the police? Creepy old warehouse. Turns my blood to ice water. Sorry I ever got mixed up in all this. Don't like that Professor Moriarty. Too spooky for my taste.
Go, go, go!
Eh?
Go, go, go!
Holmes. You!
What is this place? It smells like a gas leak.
Delicate thing, aren't you, Alice? At the moment, it's my place of business. How did you get here?
I followed you in a cab.
Well, what do you plan to do? Inform the police?
I know what you're up to, if that concerns you. You're going to try and sell counterfeit letters to Sherlock Holmes.
How do you plan to stop me?
I could buy you off.
Why should you be so protective of young Sherlock Holmes?
That's my affair.
An affair of the heart, maybe. You placed yourself in danger coming here. How much will you give?
The real letters.
Got them on you?
No, but I can get them.
You think he's your friend, don't you? He's not. Otherwise, he wouldn't be coming here to buy the letters.
Fake letters.
He doesn't know that.
I will not let him be swindled and deceived.
You won't be able to get the chance.
What's that for?
You'll see.
What villainy is this?
Tie her up and gag her.
Wait, stop! Stop, please!
Don't struggle, dearie. It'll make me irritated.
I'll tell you where the real letters are.
Don't trust her.
Promise not to go on with this. Stop!
It's too late. Holmes will be here any second.
Have you no shame?
Can't afford it.
Stop.
Make sure she can't cry out.
We know our business, Mr. Larrabee.
You just do what the professor says, and there won't be any problems.
You girls finished?
Neat and tidy.
Nice scheme, all falling to pieces. Has to be Holmes.
I wish I could understand why the criminal element so fancies the Plumstead marshes.
The West Indiana docks are too public.
Water rats favor these marshes. Perhaps that's the connection.
Never shy of an insult, are you, Holmes?
Not where rogues are concerned.
Got my message, I see.
Obviously.
I picked this place because it was neutral territory.
Rubbish. It's one of Moriarty's caves. I've been here on other occasions dealing with riffraff.
Moriarty? Never heard of him.
As a liar, you're a rank amateur, Mr. Larrabee.
I tell you, I've never heard of Moriarty.
I am here to discuss letters.
They're sitting right in front of you.
Miss Faulkner has consented to this sale. On the contrary, I would say that Miss Faulkner knows nothing of this affair, so let us omit her name from our discussion.
What makes you think she's in the dark?
Your every look, tone, gesture.
You think you can read me like a book?
A children's book. Get on with it.
How much will you give?
£1,000.
5.
I have brought the sum with me.
I tell you, I won't take less than 5.
My time is quite as limited as yours. If you desire to sell at this figure, advise me at once. If not, I shall bid you a good evening.
Can you at least give me 2?
1.
Why quibble? £1,000 it is.
My letters?
Paid for and delivered.
Ha! Now I've got you, Larrabee. You'll get 10 years for robbery.
Robbery?
These letters.
You don't even have a witness.
Miss Faulkner herself. I saw her enter this warehouse, and intermingled with the escaping odor of gas is the unmistakable scent of jasmine. Where have you hidden her?
Pay no mind, it's them water rats.
Once you're behind bars, the professor will have lost another incompetent crook.
Think so?
A whistle. Bit theatrical, isn't it?
Now who's got the upper hand?
I warn you, I learned uncommon fighting techniques in the Orient. My hands and feet are deadly.
All talk. We got him pinned down.
Better play it safe. Bring out the girl.
Give us any trouble, Mr. Holmes, and the girl goes first.
They can't be trusted.
They can't be trusted!
I recognize the lot. Miss Bassick and her gang of counterfeit suffragettes, Sid Prince, and the destructive gas house Gertie.
What are you waiting for? Tie him up already.
It's not difficult to imagine who's at the bottom of this.
He knows about the professor.
No matter. Anyhow, the professor's agent, he gave me a message for you.
Indeed.
Yes, he sends his kindest compliments and wishes you on a very pleasant journey.
Journey? What is she talking about?
A pleasant journey to the other side.
He had me whip out a little bon voyage gift. Any pretty?
It's a bomb.
Oh, that's what's supposed to be, dear.
5
Set
minutes.
the timer, like a boiling an egg.
Right, well, I'm getting out of here.
Glad to see the last of you, Mr. Sherlock Holmes.
Are the ropes tight?
They can't twist their hands out of those knots.
Courage, Miss Faulkner, courage.
Right, well, Mr. Holmes, my good friend, we've been through a lot. You can sit here and chit-chat all you like, but I am going to be traveling now.
I'm with you, Sid.
I can see it on the front page now. Famous detective blown to bits at the Plumstead marshes.
Who is this professor they speak of?
The most evil man in London. I suspect he wants the marriage to take place. That is why he has taken an interest in the letters.
I don't understand.
If Prince Carl gets married, he can then produce the letters. proving that Prince Carl married under a cloud, that he employed deception.
Go on.
This affront to the honor of the Russian royal family will demand satisfaction.
Satisfaction?
War.
War?
The professor would then be in an unbelievable position of power since he controls the munitions cartel. That is the scheme. Count on it.
Incredible.
Miss Faulkner, your sister met her demise not as you believe, but at the hands of a hired assassin.
Can I believe that?
I know Moriarty's methods.
Although we will soon be going out together, I feel I hardly know you. You're here, doomed, because of me. I can't help but feel responsible.
These things happen.
If only you'd stayed out of the case.
When Moriarty's involved, matters demand my presence. 2 minutes.
Then this is goodbye.
Nonsense. I shall free myself from these bonds and survive.
How?
In Tibet, I studied the thought concentration process of the holy monks. They had the amazing power to shrink their hands through intense meditation.
Meditation? There isn't time for that. Please hurry. Please hurry. Oh my God, please hurry. There's 90 seconds left. Please hurry. There isn't time. Please hurry. Please. Please. Mr. Holmes, hurry. Please hurry. Please hurry. Please. It's too late.
Never.
Oh, thank heavens.
Meditation is always the best. Proper breathing is a great boon to mankind. It's a shame more men and women don't know how to breathe properly. Well, that and concentration, of course.
I'd have to try it sometime, but not now.
You're a brave young woman, Miss Faulkner.
At the moment, I'm a frightened young woman. We have to hurry.
After you, Miss Faulkner.
There's only seconds left.
41, to be exact.
Are you going to Scarborough Fair? Parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme. Remember me to one who lives there, for he once was a true love of mine. Tell him to make me a Cambridge shirt. Parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme. No seam nor needlework, for he once was a true love of mine. Tell him to buy me an acre of land. Parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme. Between the salt water and by the sea strand. For he once was a true love of mine. Are you going to Scarborough Fair? Parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme.
edition, extra edition.
Extra edition of the evening news.
Mysterious explosion in Plumstead Marshes. Warehouse blown to bits.
Police arrest fake suffragettes. Notorious gang of thieves and Miss Bassett arrested.
Fake suffragettes admit part in heist at the Tower of London. Royal wedding plans revealed. Queen Victoria gives her blessings.
Crime wave at NSAID Scotland Yard.
More military build-up in Europe. Extra edition, extra edition.
Russia and Austria sign long-term peace pact.
Now about those headaches, my dear, I have written out a prescription that should help. I didn't quite catch the name.
Miss Gibbs, doctor, Miss Lillian Gibbs. Thank you for your time. Although I'm sorry to hear Holmes is at home.
I get so many patients wishing to see him.
Just a glimpse is all I wanted. I wouldn't dream of intruding on his privacy. You sure he's not here?
I assure you, my dear, Holmes is not here, and I am not in the habit of lying.
I didn't mean to appear rude.
It's a Miss Baskerville, Dr. Watson.
Baskerville.
Please come in.
I won't take any more of your time.
Silly creature, that Miss Gibbs. Nothing the matter with her.
Please sit, miss.
What seems to be the matter?
I'm desperate for your help. You must tell me when Sherlock Holmes will return.
Why, I don't know. What's wrong? Perhaps I can assist?
My uncle was recently killed by a gigantic ghost hound.
A ghost hound, you say? Oh, goodness gracious.
On the moors, outside the manor house, the villagers say it's the family curse, the hounds of Baskerville.
That doesn't sound like a standard English ghost hound to me.
My brother, Sir Henry Baskerville, is next in line for an inheritance. I must speak to Sherlock Holmes.
Come with me, miss. A nice cup of tea will settle your nerves.
Yes. Perhaps a cup of tea would be nice, and maybe when you're finished, Sherlock Holmes will return. Gigantic ghost hound? Why, what's next? Holmes, what the devil?
We're alone?
Yes, of course we're alone. What are you doing sneaking into the house that way?
I wanted to make certain Moriarty saw me.
Well, then why wouldn't you come in the front way?
There must be a certain mystery regarding my return to Baker Street. You see, he means to kill me.
Kill you? In here?
He missed his chance in the Plumstead Marshes.
You were mixed up in that?
In a fashion. Any unusual visitors this morning?
Yes, some woman complaining about a dog.
Dog?
And another woman who had a headache issue that, although she claimed to be Lillian Gibbs, had a striking resemblance to your description of Madge Larrabee.
Ah, excellent. Likely here to see if I was in hiding. The knot draws tighter. Miss Hudson.
What about that letter business?
I've sent word for Prince Carl and Lady Edwina to meet me here within the hour.
Good to hear it.
Mr. Holmes, I didn't hear you come in.
That is what you may expect to hear when I do not wish to be heard.
Huh?
Be so kind as to fetch the cabbie on the corner.
Cabs don't wait on the corner. Not enough business for them.
I think you'll find one there today. Inform the cabbie you have a tenant who wishes to go to the following address, 106 Harley Lane.
Who's going?
I am.
But you just come in.
Do hurry, Miss Hudson.
Right away, sir.
106 Harley Lane? Why, isn't that the insurance firm that hired you?
Correct.
And you're going to go there with everybody else coming here?
Correct again. Hello, what's that?
Oh, it's some medical supplies that I had delivered.
Might do. Ah, it's heavy.
Might do for what?
Do stop asking so many questions and give a hand.
You're going to leave it there?
Curious.
What?
That he's here so soon.
Who?
No, those are not the footsteps. Jasmine.
Not again.
Forgive me for coming here against your instructions.
You're a woman of strong will, Miss Faulkner.
You wanted to allow me to thank you last evening.
I expect no thanks. But I told you I had an important business meeting here at this hour. Shh.
What is it?
Shh. Miss Faulkner, quickly, play a patient. keep your back to the visitor.
What visitor?
Watson, I rely on you.
Come.
Ah, there you are, my good man. I wish to go to 106 Harley Lane and then to Victoria Station. You'll have trouble with that chest. It's heavy.
I can manage.
Oh, about those dizzy spells, the prescription I gave you.
They give me no relief.
And when did you first notice the condition?
A fortnight ago.
May I give you a hand?
It might help.
Perhaps I ought to unload some of the contents. I wouldn't want anything to break in transit.
I know my job. Hey, wait, what are you doing? Hey, what are you doing? Stop!
Too late. I've got you.
Mr. Holmes, what are you doing putting handcuffs on the cabman?
Cabman? Oh no, Miss Faulkner. I give you the author of all the evil that has transpired. Professor Moriarty.
I may swoon.
Now is the time, Lestrade. Sorry you didn't get the opportunity to finish me off.
That makes two of us.
I doubt if I ever would have reached Victoria Station.
So do I.
Like clockwork, eh?
Here's your man. Oh, Professor, allow me to introduce you to the Larrabee's butler. He is one of my agents.
London will sleep easy tonight, thanks to you.
May she always do so. Have you apprehended Madge Larrabee?
Yes, and her husband too.
Splendid. Not only will I have the pleasure of testifying against your men in court, but against you as well. Take him away, Lestrade.
I curse you!
Aye, Professor. Return the compliment.
What will they do to him?
The gallows, I trust. Ah, excellent. You received my message.
Who were those men?
Two were reasonably respectable citizens. The evil-looking one was a minor criminal.
Minor criminal? Why, it was Professor Moriarty himself. We have more serious matters to discuss.
More serious than Moriarty.
Please have a seat, Lady Edwina.
I prefer to stand.
Just let's get on with it.
At once.
Do you or do you not have the letters?
I have them with me, at a cost of £1,000.
Well? Well?
What are you at, Mr. Holmes?
What's wrong, Carl?
These are not the letters.
What?
These are forgeries. Clever forgeries, but forgeries nonetheless.
Are you certain?
I am certain.
You have disappointed Queen Victoria.
This will be a slap in the face of your reputation.
Moriarty's won. I'm ruined.
Surely this doesn't mean you may not recover the real letters.
I'm afraid it does.
I put such faith in you.
Do you have any idea what this will do to international affairs?
The insurance people told me I could trust you, Mr. Holmes.
I am ruined. Ruined.
You're not ruined.
Alice. Your Highness, I informed you that the letters would be in your hands within this hour.
Well, what about now?
Was it genuine?
They are quite genuine. These are the real letters.
But what of the other letters, the forgeries?
Mr. Holmes' methods are, how do I put this, unorthodox.
If you say so, Dr. Watson, but I really do not understand.
What matters is this. We have the letters now.
True.
I'm going to assume that you understand the harsh strain that Mr. Holmes and I have been under.
Naturally, I shall inform the insurance company our complete satisfaction.
You're too kind.
Thank you, Mr. Holmes. You have been invaluable in this investigation.
I'll show you out.
You knew the letters you purchased were counterfeit.
Yes.
And when you told me that you had a business meeting today, you knew I would come.
I hoped you would.
You know I could never allow you to be disgraced.
I am an excellent trickster, Miss Faulkner. Before you continue, I detect a hint of romance in your voice.
Your powers of observation are impeccable.
If ever I had time for romance, if ever my heart could reach out to another.
Don't stop.
Alice.
Sherlock.
Alice.
Oh, Mr. Holmes, do forgive me.
You are?
Maggie Baskerville. My brother is Sir Henry Baskerville.
Niece and nephew of the murdered Sir Charles Baskerville?
Yes.
I know the case.
Only this morning, my brother received a note saying that he will die at the fangs of a gigantic ghost hound.
More letters?
Downstairs, Miss Baskerville. I'll follow. There's not a moment to lose.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Holmes. Thank you.
Goodbye, Alice. Think of me as one of the stately homes of England. Fascinating to visit, impossible to live with. Watson! Come along, Watson. The game's afoot.
I will never forget you, Sherlock Holmes.